You know, if it's one thing I love about enjoying video games and being a gamer in today's day and age, it's that no matter what happens, we're going to give you our opinion, whether you like it or you don't. And truly, that really makes a lot of things, in fact, fantastic. It makes people provide different perspectives. It gives opportunities to understand why everybody else feels a different way or what kind of games they actually like. Or it also just proves to me and everybody else that maybe your take was actually pretty dumb, or you probably shouldn't make that game in the first place. And that's truly a wonderful thing, to be that open, to be that honest, to be that direct with so many developers, publishers, and even other fans of this hobby. The problem is, though, lately, especially the past couple of months, we've been seeing a little bit of, dare I even say, collusion, not only between gaming corporations, but also between those exact same corpos, people that used to work at those corporations, and now even gaming journalists and gaming outlets. And that's where things come together in today's video. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Alex, how are you on earth going to prove any sort of collusion or even working together or even showing that previous executives and even game journals are going around and defending these companies and corporations? Actually, it's not even that hard. You see, we've even talked about this before. Christopher Dring on The Game Business literally had somebody on his own podcast talking about your consumer rights literally exist to be violated. And that person actually works as a consultancy firm for a company. In fact, one of those main companies that this consultancy firm even works for is literally Sony and PlayStation. So you really can't get any more brazen than that. Oh, but it doesn't stop there, actually. We have seen so many podcasts and pundits and even game journals going around and defending the actual ability for PlayStation to remove physical discs from your ownership, not giving you anything at all. And it gets even worse, by the way, on top of this, when you see those exact same journals, those exact same corporate talking heads, and those exact same pundits now going around and defending a game like Wolverine, even though in those previews right now, people are in fact not happy about how that game looks, what that game has been doing, or where 5 years of work has gone for that game's actual development, literally roasting it all over the internet. And later on in the video, I'm going to point out exactly why this is all coming to a head. And we're watching as one specific president of PlayStation, Shuhei Yoshida, is now weighing his opinion on both of those actual aspects in today's modern age, and how everything is now being pointed together, with proper examples as well of other game websites literally picking and choosing and doing everything they can to basically defend the corporation that everybody knows is trying to screw them in the end. The backlash is exposing everyone. And honestly, I'm here for it. Because according to Games Radar Plus posting, ex-PlayStation boss doesn't know if Sony killing physical games is, quote, such a big issue. With the article stating, speaking to Gamer Braves in a new interview, Yoshida, the former president of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios, is asked for his thoughts on the decision. Of course, he wasn't involved himself, as he left the company early last year, and notes, quote, I don't know they were planning that. However, he doesn't seem opposed to it. Saying, quote, personally, I'm a totally digital consumer, he begins. I don't want to manage discs or swap discs. I want all my games on my dashboard, and I just select a game and play it. So I'm completely digital. Yoshida also continues by saying, even with physical disc games, in most cases, developers are constantly updating and adding game data anyways, he explains. Anyone who chooses to purchase the physical version will still need to download new patches, DLC, or updates. So not having a disc, I don't understand if it's such a big issue. Do you see now, ladies and gentlemen, do you see how easy it is for all these journos, all these ex-corporate VPs, and every other pundit and everybody else to start sweeping things under the rug, keep things going in the same space, and making you sound like an actual insane person online, being angry about physical media no longer being contained, and it's not a big issue because you have to download a patch or anything like that? Removing an actual piece of ownership from a customer does nothing more than put more power into the actual company, even if I have to run the disc, even if there's game updates, and even if there's always extra DLC. The thing is, people actually want to have the physical game in their hands, not only for ownership and collector's purposes, which he talked about earlier on in that article as well, but also because it provides a second way of people obtaining video games at a cheaper price. And right now, PlayStation is not doing anything like that or anything for the customer to even have that kind of option in the first place. And we've seen other websites as well, and even other game journals say this exact same thing. In fact, Jacob Novak, who was a CEO of PlayStation and worked in finances for that company, literally went around and was telling you and telling everybody else online that, hey, if PlayStation removes physical discs, then they can actually price digital games cheaper. Wouldn't that be great, guys? And you know it, I know it, and everybody knows it. That's not true. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly where all the gaslighting actually begins. And no, I'm not kidding. What we're witnessing right now is someone like Shuhei Yoshida walking around and telling you, an actual customer in this space, that not having a physical disc is more of a chore. I just want to press the button and play. I don't really care about ownership. I don't really care about any of this other stuff. I don't care about buying games cheaper. It's one thing to be able to access your games from any other platform. The problem is PlayStation is not going to be doing that at all. And I gotta stop right here and say this. Shuhei Yoshida, this is you. Literally you. How you trade your games on PlayStation 4. And you had a physical disc in your hand and then you gave it to your other buddy and you were like, thanks. And literally you went through with that 140-second video clip, destroyed an entire company's entire generation, and put PlayStation 4 on the map after the disaster of PlayStation 3. And you have the gall, the audacity, the testicular fortitude to turn right back around and be like, I don't know what the big deal is. It's not that big of a problem, you guys. Even though I'm being a complete hypocrite about everything, don't worry, just give PlayStation more of your money. They deserve it, am I right? And I think what's even funnier is how completely out of touch every CEO, every company, and every single person and pundit is in this actual industry, trying to gaslight you and make you feel like fucking stupid because you actually want to own the games that you in fact purchase. Hell, take a look at this to prove it right. Cynical on Twitter posted, PlayStation have the chat enabled for the Phantom Blade Zero live showcase. And oh my God, bro, they actually don't care. Skull emoji times 3. And you know what? He's right. Sony literally does not care. Look at this chat go. Everybody's saying no disc, no buy. Where's the disc? Digital only. Why no disc? And everything else across the board. What is PlayStation doing? Nothing. Letting it fall on actual deaf ears, telling you to your face, you do not matter. Telling you right now, you're going to buy the slop, be a consumer, and go around and be the exact same kind of sheep and pig they want you to be. And that's where things get really out of control, because it turns out that not only is PlayStation going around and telling you, hey, we're going to make you not own your games, you're going to deal with us completely and not get physical anymore, it's also being proven that PlayStation has become completely creatively bankrupt, and they think you're dumb enough to not even notice. With GameSpot posting, Marvel's Wolverine is another victim of the internet's endless gaming negativity. And Push Square also posting, after the online storm, here's the truth about Wolverine and PlayStation 5. Oh, you guys, listen, I gotta tell you this. If the article was written by somebody on a website, then it's gotta be true. There's no way around that. They would never lie to you. They would never put their entire company on the line. They would never go ahead and say anything that would be negatively introduced on the actual site itself and have completely shamed themselves into licking a corporate boot on a consistent basis. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. GameSpot, is this you making nonstop negative Xbox posts about the layoffs consistently all over the place every single time something happens? Let's take a look, shall we? Right here are 9 articles within the last year written by GameSpot. Hell, take a look at some of these actual articles. Xbox layoffs heavily impact the accessibility team too. Xbox closing We Happy Few South of Minute developer Compulsion Games. After Xbox pulls funding, Hitman Dev is closing a studio and laying people off. And over and over and over. Non-stop articles being written about how evil Xbox is, yet turning around and telling you, hey guys, don't be mad at Wolverine Wolverine, don't say bad things about PlayStation. We want to make sure that I check queers, literally proving the Xbox tax in front of everybody right now. And I'm someone who believed the Xbox tax never even in fact existed, but yet here we are in this space watching as game journals are now defending their entire favorite corporation, or the corporation that at least signs their checks. And if you want to see an even better tweet about this, check this out in the replies on GameSpot's own tweet. Robert Croft replies to GameSpot saying, "Wow, GameSpot spare me the Wolverine is a victim framing. Insomniac is a business selling a product. GameSpot is a business covering that product. And the consumers are the people expected to hand over the money. That relationship gets awfully parasitic when games media starts protecting publishers and studios from the very audience both businesses depend on. Studios need coverage, access, hype, and favorable narratives. Games media needs studios for access, content, clicks, interviews, previews, and relevance. Then when customers push back, suddenly the customer is the negative one ruining everything." No. And Robert is 100% correct. There is no reason why game journals should be out here defending this company and corporation. If people don't like the previews of Wolverine, make a better preview. Simple as that. Do something else. Provide the gamers exactly what they want to see. Give the people exactly what they want to play. Don't sit here and reskin Spider-Man over and over again for 5 years, do the exact same garbage, the exact same playbook, the exact same bullshit, and then expect us to shell out $70 so that way you can go ahead and collect more money from us and still remove our ownership from everything. Remember, when Shuhei Yoshida was the same person that said, physical isn't really a big deal, digital's where it's at. And then here we have the same kind of company defending that exact corporation. So we've got journos, we've got CEOs, and we've got pundits across the board. Man, isn't gaslighting a lot of fun? Twitter may be one specific place, but the thing is, that is the place of the most dedicated, of the most hardcore, and the people whose money these companies are dying to get. When you turn around and you raise the price, not once, but twice of video games in the same generation, and then you back that up with no longer giving access to a disc, and then you turn around and you say, you know what, $80 isn't enough, give us $100 for the full game, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? What is even happening right now? That's just with GTA 6. Then you turn around and you become PlayStation and you say, you know what? Now you're not going to have any ownership at all whatsoever in a couple of years. You're going to play the exact same third person, cinematic, cover-based animated adventure with stealth elements, going around and trying to be more of a movie than actually being a video game. And what happens instead? The backlash continues. Instead of actually understanding why people are upset, what do? They say you hate something. They say you're not worthy of it. They say that you shouldn't even be having an opinion about it, that Twitter is a hate algorithm, when even right now at this exact moment in time, what we're seeing is the exact opposite of things happening. We're watching as game journals are giving all of these games from PlayStation and other companies 9s out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s. And not because they're good games, but instead because they are in fact less video game and more like a movie, trying to be a cinematic masterpiece, trying to go through and have less interaction and less gameplay. And Wolverine, being the catalyst for this, is going to expose the entire gaming industry, and it's going to prove exactly why every game today feels exactly the same, plays exactly the same, and everything we're watching and witnessing right now is leaving everyone in the gaming industry and its fans of games into apathy or into going retro. And you'll never believe what Shuhei Yoshida, in fact, said next. Because according to VGC posting, former PlayStation executive Shuhei Yoshida says he advised the developers of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 not to pitch it as a turn-based RPG because it would put some people off. With the article posting, as reported by 4Gamer, Yoshida was asked whether publishers cared about trends, and he replied that it depended on the company. Those who publish games that are nearly completed are more likely to care about trends, whereas those who get involved early in a game's development may focus on it less because the trend could be dead in a few years. Yoshida then suggested that sometimes a publisher may want to go against the trend if the genre is a niche one, citing a discussion he had with Clair Obscur publisher Kepler Interactive as an example of this. According to Yoshida, he played a demo of the game at the Game Developers Conference about 2 years before its release, and was impressed by its battle system and its combination of turn-based combat similar to many JRPGs and timing-based actions. At the time, however, Yoshida said turn-based JRPGs were considered, quote, old-fashioned. So when he discussed the game with developers at Sandfall Interactive, he advised them that the game was very well made, but they shouldn't call it a turn-based RPG because players might ignore it based on that term alone. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we just in stupid town today? Is it gaslight o'clock right now? Is that what's happening? Look, even in this space at the moment right now in this time frame, we're watching and witnessing as in 2024, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 mollywopped the entire gaming industry. Every AAA game, every third-person cinematic cover-based action-adventure with stealth elements game that came out that year got its ass handed to it on a platter by a turn-based JRPG, a game that people have written off multiple times, a genre that people have written off multiple times. And here we have Yoshida-san telling Sandfall Interactive and even Kepler, hey, guys, listen, don't call it turn-based. That's going to be bad. People don't like that. And that's exactly why you have so many issues with all the games out today. We're watching and witnessing as CEOs, VPs, presidents, and the gaming industry itself is completely out of touch with every single user and gamer in the space right now. Millions of copies sold, massive amounts of awards, destroying the entire gaming industry in 1 year. Yet what do we have to show for it? PlayStation doing 0 things with Legend of Dragoon, which would have been the easiest W to pull up right now in this space after E33. All they had to do was say, hey, we're developing it right now. It'll be out in a couple of years, don't you worry. And then even right now, Legend of Dragoon coming out with all this happening, people would still go and say, damn, that looks like a goddamn video game to me, boys, and I'm down for that. Instead, what do we get? No, we get the actual slop of Wolverine. We get the same garbage over and over again. The same stealth sections, the same giant titan just pushing one arm down, getting it sliced up, and then taking the arm off so that way you gotta go through and then fight it again. The same shit we've been doing since the PlayStation 2, except with zero sauce and zero aura, and everybody else pointing at it and going, yeah, $70? No thanks. I don't think so. Not with what you're doing. No way in hell, bro. Sorry. Can't happen like that. Yikes. And you could call me a hater all you want. You could say, oh, you just live off the hate of the industry. You just hate everything in gaming, Alex. I literally love PlayStation. I love what I grew up with them. I love all the weird games that I saw. I love all the insane things happening. But what I can't stand is watching a company that is sitting on mounds of IPs, doing literally nothing with them, and then watching as many suits, CEOs, game journals, and pundits all sit in a line with each other, trying to go around and tell me what kind of games I like to play or what I should be playing in the first place, or not to be mean to the video game developer. Sorry, that's not how that works. Like Robert said, if you guys want my money, you gotta fucking work for it. And clearly, you guys aren't working for it. Now, here's the response we're gonna hear consistently across the video in the comment section and maybe even on Twitter when it gets there. Well, Wolverine is gonna sell millions of copies. I don't care. I don't care. Literally, the amount of sales does not actually go ahead and prove to me that the game is going to be good, or it is not a simple rehash of everything you've ever played before. The lack of actual innovation, the lack of pushing new boundaries, the lack of trying something new in the gaming space is literally because of people like Yoshida telling other companies to not make those kinds of games, to not call them those kinds of games. And you can point to companies like Square Enix and everybody else who went and followed those actual trends, who tried to go ahead and capitalize on other places and not make the game people in fact grew up with fall and fail until they went back to the drawing board. And that is what people are looking for, especially right now. If game companies want our money, they have to do more, especially if they're going to charge more and they're going to take away literal ownership from us. But right now, what we're watching and witnessing is the fact that game journals and the entire space is trying to gaslight you and make you feel like an asshole because you wanted to have an opinion that didn't go with their trends. Sorry, this isn't Reddit. You can't control the narrative, and we're not going to sit here and be silent while the entire industry makes the same slop over and over again just because DSP is the actual market you want to sell the game to. Maybe next time, instead of making a movie, PlayStation, make a fucking video game instead. So maybe next time, game journals and game industry, don't lie to us and don't gaslight us because we're going to call you out on that shit, and you are going to have a bad day. No matter how many articles you try to write. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to see more of this kind of content, though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and live streams, subscribe to the channel. If you want Discord access or emotes during those live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. If you don't got the buck, don't even worry about it, bro. Just come on down Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on the channel as I wear a banana suit and get insulted with text-to-speech. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Saturday nights live, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, right here on the channel. Do you want even more of me, though? Check out Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to that channel is in the description down below. New videos come out every single Monday, and I live stream there weekdays from 10 a.m. to around 2 p.m. Right now, we're playing Mortal Shell. We're going to get through that, and then we're going to do a bunch of stuff with other games as well and stream every day for you, too. Don't worry, the chat calls me DSP, makes fun of me, and also uses TTS to embarrass me, too. You're going to love the streams. I promise. Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to the channels in the description down below. I'll see you in the live streams, and you're going to have a great day as I get you through your work day. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!